blonde Rudkin against this tough-looking little man from Tucson, Arizona, Manny Elias. Elias, known in his hometown as El Torito, the Little Bull. Been around a long time. He's been a professional for 11 years. He started way back in 1957, and that was before most of us had ever heard of Alan Rudkin. Elias, from Arizona, born of Mexican parents, 31 years old, a veteran of the ring, against Alan Rudkin, the British Empire Bantamweight champion, who'll be 27 on Monday. You only have to take one look at Elias's record to realize what a strong man he must be, because in 70 contests he's been stopped only once. The man from Arizona conceding both height and reach to Rudkin. It's been a big year for Alan Rudkin. He regained his British Empire titles in May this year from Walter McGowan after 15 great rounds at Bellevue in Manchester, and he's since won 2 more fights. But he picked up a very bad injury to his left eye in one of those fights. It needed 5 stitches. Harry Gibbs, the referee, towering over these 2 little men. Rudkin weighs 8 stone 8 3/4. He's 3/4 of a pound heavier. Head up and ducking below the waistband of Rudkin. That's illegal. Well, that was very definitely a feeling out round between these two. 31-year-old Manny Elias, born in Phoenix, Arizona, of Mexican parents. He claims to be the Bantamweight champion of North America on the strength of a fight that he won back in 1962. He outpointed Rudy Corona of Mexico to win that title. And it's interesting that Corona was only recently stopped in 7 rounds by Rudkin. In fact, that was Rudkin's last fight on October the 3rd. Really is a sturdy-looking customer, this Elias. Solidly built. He's got legs that look like young tree trunks. Rudkin treating him with due deference, not taking any chances, using his reach. Just feeling the man out with left hands, picking up points. It's a fight Rudkin cannot afford to lose. If he loses this, then he can say goodbye for some time anyway to any chance of being nominated for a world title fight with the Australian champion, Lionel Rose. Liverpool champ, is starting for Rudkin. Elias coming forward at the time, but not being allowed to do anything. Punch is being taken on Rudkin's arms. Rudkin doing all the scoring as we reach the last half minute of the second round. Rudkin has had 39 professional fights. He's won 35 and lost 4. Now, 3 of those 4 defeats have come in major title fights. He lost to Walter McGowan for the British and Empire titles on points in 1966. He lost an European title fight on points to Mimoun Ben Ali in 1957, a decision that was regarded generally as pretty unsatisfactory. And he lost on points to Fighting Harada, the world champion, back in 1965. The man working on Elias in the corner is his manager, Paavo Ketona, who has a very interesting background. He was born in Finland. He immigrated to Canada in 1936 and then came to Britain. And he became the middleweight wrestling champion of the British Empire, 1937, 38, and 39. He then emigrated to America in 1939, and he's been there ever since. And now he manages Manny Elias. Well, Rudkin has already won 4 fights this year. He beat Pornchai Popriagam of Thailand. Then he won his titles back by beating Walter McGowan. He then beat Billy Brown of the Philippines and Rudy Corona of Mexico. And it's looking very much at this stage in this 6th round as though Rudkin is heading for win number 5 this year. We've had 5 rounds, and Rudkin must have won every one of them, probably by a quarter of a point each time, so he should be about a point and a quarter ahead. If it goes on like this, I would think that Mr. Gibbs might well be justified in calling a halt on the ground that Elias can no longer win, unless he reckons Elias might come up with a knockout punch. It seems to me, though, that the further this goes, the more freely Rudkin scores. Gibbs is looking just a little anxiously at Elias. And he certainly is soaking up some punishment. Doesn't look much, but he's taking it and taking it and taking it. All of it to the head. 4 there without a reply. Still, this brave little bull comes forward, but he really is taking a hiding. One of those quiet, efficient workings over. He's beginning to look a very tired boy now, Elias, in the 6th round. Well, there's a picture of a brave man who's kept coming forward despite the punishment he's soaked up, and will go on coming forward, presumably until the end. Harry Gibbs is walking over once more to the Elias corner for the 2nd time. And now he's walking across to Rudkin. Not too sure what he would have said to Rudkin, but he's obviously concerned for the welfare of Elias, who has been on the receiving end of punishment now throughout 7 rounds, and presumably is going to be on the receiving end again here in the 8th. This is the sort of job that Rudkin had to do against a strong man from Arizona. He couldn't afford to lose the fight because he's in the running for a shot at the World Bantamweight title held by Lionel Rose of Australia, and a defeat by Elias would have shattered all those hopes for a long time to come. Elias, I think, trying to make a bit of a rally here in the 8th, working a little bit harder. But Elias is obviously a strong man who is quite clearly nearing the end of his career. A veteran of the ring, something like 70 professional fights, and has seen his best days. Whatever else Elias may have lost, he certainly hasn't lost his courage. I should be very surprised if that scorecard doesn't show Rudkin having won all the preceding 8 rounds. 3 minutes to go, and Elias's only hope must be to land one big punch to change the course of this fight. It's gone against him for 9 rounds, and his only hope now must be to knock out or to stop Rudkin in the last round. And Rudkin apparently coasting home to victory against the tough little man from Arizona, Manny Elias. Elias has put on a very brave show, but has been outboxed all the way. It would look pretty good in the record books if Rudkin could stop him, but he hasn't got long to do it now, and if he hasn't really slowed him down or convinced Harry Gibbs that he's really got him in trouble, I don't think he can do it now. Wonderfully professional exhibition from Alan Rudkin, who I think has hardly put a foot wrong, or a fist wrong, come to that. Manny Elias is one of the real little iron men of the ring. Stopped only once in about 70 professional fights. He's never coming forward in this one. But you only have to take one look at his face, which is badly puffed, to see the sort of work that Rudkin has put in. Last few seconds, and Rudkin is not going to stop Elias. Well, there it is. Rudkin must have won that by a mile, and he's the winner on points after 10 rounds. Alan Rudkin, the British Empire Bantamweight champion, against the strong little man from America, Manny Elias. A fight that Rudkin could not afford to lose if he wanted to keep alive his hopes of a world title fight. And I should be very surprised indeed if Rudkin has lost a round.
Rudkin is the winner!
Well, Alan, most people would regard that as a thoroughly professional, competent performance. Is that how you yourself saw it?
Well, I thought it was, for me, it was a good workout, you know, very good workout. I was in no trouble at all through the fight. I just boxed the way I wanted to, but he was a very tough guy. I couldn't knock him out. I couldn't get him with a good, clean shot.
He was a very awkward, short little man, wasn't he? Did this present any particular problem?
Oh, yeah, his head was down all the time, and the only thing I could get a shot at was his head, you know. And it wasn't hurting him a lot.
And you really couldn't produce a knockout punch on these?
Not really, no. I don't think he's ever been knocked out anyway. He's had about 80 fights, and he's fought the best in the world. He's never been knocked out.
This really was a very important one for you. I feel that you felt you must win it, didn't
Yes.
you? Did this, was there any anxiety at any point that you wouldn't win it?
No, at the moment every fight's important, you know, because I've got a chance of a world title fight. But in this fight, he was coming in with his head a lot, dangerously. You know, I had this eye cut a few months ago, so I didn't take any chances at all.
But you were never worried?
No, never worried. It was a good workout.
Well, let's bring in manager Bobby Neal on a comment about that world title fight. What about Lionel Rose? I mean, do you have a promise to meet him, or what's the situation?
Well, I've had negotiations with Australia. In actual fact, I thought we would have got it in December, but in actual fact, he's going to Castillo, he's going to Mexico to fight Castillo. I feel, as long as Alan remains undefeated, he will get next crack at either Castillo or Rose.
You think you'd like him to have Rose straight away, would you?
I would indeed, yes. He is committed actually because to fight for the European title. And when this will happen, the first offers are due to end in December, so we'll know what the tonight is. But I would love to have a world title fight with the world.
Were you pleased with him tonight? I saw you muttering once or twice.
Fought beautifully.
You did very well.
Yes. One of those very awkward fighters that you mustn't underrate because they're small, they're awkward to swing with the head low. And Alan's very susceptible to cuts where you keep moving, jabbing, and it's tremendous work.
Well done. I hope you get a crack at Lionel Rose.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for letting me in.